So the first things you can do is write a blog or participate on somebody else's blog and write about things that you know about that other people find interesting. Don't just write about yourself. I've used some examples already that you could think. If you're in, I'm not just sort of go quickly. If you're in, so I've heard fashion design, you may talk about trends that are happening, fabrics that are coming out that are innovative, how ugly other people are in clothes that don't work with them. It doesn't matter as long as other people find it interesting and want to hear you talk about it. And don't try to oversell your company, because a lot of times what you want to do is don't think about, I got to make a sale right this second. You want to cultivate and build relationships over a long time. That's how, there's a difference between, you'll hear in marketing terms, there's a leading indicator and there's a lagging indicator. Leading indicators are examples of things that you can recognize right now. If you put a coupon out, you can figure out very quickly how many people redeem that coupon. Right? That's a leading indicator. A lagging indicator is building relationships over time that have value, but you might not see them right away. And then they're very important to have. And then, of course, when you're writing a blog, don't just keep it on your blog. Take your linkings and post it on Facebook. Post it on someone else's Twitter account. Take your content, disseminate it out. Right? So don't operate as an island. Go out and disseminate your stuff as much as possible, because it's good when other people link to your stuff. It's good when you pass it out and hit a broader audience. And then another point I will quickly make is when you have a product, ask people to review it, and don't be afraid of people saying that it's, they had a problem with it. So I'll go back to another one of my clients who's Kohl's. Maybe not one of the trendsetters in fashion design, but they have a big presence. Here's an example of something that somebody wrote where she had a problem. Let's see, where a security tag was left on there, right? So that's not that great. If someone's posting on your wall, you have a ton of fans there. Everybody there who went there that day is seeing that they screwed up. Well, when we came back to them, we said, look, we're really sorry. Give us your information, we'll get you a refund, right? And so by reacting to the negative comments as well as the positive comments, you're actually showing people the sort of ethos of your company and that you're good, that you're not sort of, this mass that no one really understands. And, because I think that what's really important now, because the web is such an open, transparent place, is the ability to be authentic and show people that there's a real human side to the company, that it's not just, we operate behind a wall. So on building relationships, again, the last point is give a benefit for people interacting with you on your social sites. This is a kind of a cool example that I've seen, which is on your social media sites, if you do have them, offer something that's unique on them, right? So if you are my Facebook fan, right, give me a reason to do that. That's beneficial. So that may be a coupon for all Facebook fans only. You get a coupon. There's some people would say, which is true, don't buy your fans. Right? Don't say, there's a lot of campaigns that I've seen recently. I think Friendly said they'll give $1 to every Facebook fan that they get. That goes back to my first point, where that friend isn't worth anything because you just bought them. It's the same thing as in real life. All this stuff pertains to real life. If I went up to someone on the street and say, here's $100, will you hang out with me tonight? It's probably not going to be worth that much. The person really doesn't genuinely like you, and that person's not worth a lot. But this one's really cool. This is called Sprinkles Mobile. I think it's an ice cream company that what they do is they drive around and they said, the first 10 people today to come whisper Oscars, it's a free cupcake, right? Well, that's cool. That's like a benefit to having a Twitter account, right? Or to being friends with this person. You're going to get some insider information that adds to your life. What not to do? Biggest mistake. I've been definitely on my own blog. I have done this a lot of times, starting something and not finishing it. When you're a company, that's really terrible to do that. Right? So if you start writing a blog, don't stop, because it's even worse than starting it to begin with, because it looks like your company is ceasing to exist in that space. It gives off a lot of bad perceptions of what's going on. So be committed to it if you're going to start, if you're going to use one of these channels. Don't hide the negativity like I just saw. It could be a benefit. Don't take off comments that criticize. And don't treat all of your customers equally. Right? So just by them interacting with them, represent other people, they become a beacon for other people to be exposed to your message. So if someone really likes your product or someone really likes your fashion line, then send them some free products. Say, hey, we appreciate what you're doing for us. You're not bribing them, so to speak, but it's nice to give them something as a thank you. The last area is monitoring your reputation. so there's places like, you want to, once you've established these areas, and even if you hadn't, going to sites like Yelp, which is it's a local, again, it's local for finding different, restaurants and clubs and dining. People on there will rate and review you, whether you want them to or not. They'll say you had a really good experience or a really mediocre one. And you should know what they're saying, because it could help you fix what you're doing wrong or give you insights into your company or your business. And again, going back to Google Maps, every one of these locations, city search, etc., you can see what people find about you. I recently, one example which shows the power of this medium is I recently had knee surgery. And I went online to look up where my surgeon was. And in Google Maps, there was like someone who said, this guy's really great, I had a good experience with him. I was like, okay, great. If someone was like, this guy hacked up my leg, and it's the worst thing I might have thought twice about going there. And I'm not sure the surgeon even knows it. His business is being critiqued in Google Maps, but it's really powerful. So address that. And of course, we all, I don't have to tell anybody this, because each one of us does this now and then, is Google yourself. And in this case, your business, right? So put it in, see what people are saying. There's also lots of free tools on there. You could go and say free, free social media monitoring, right? You could put that phrase in Google, free social media monitoring. You'll get lots of tools out there that will monitor different blogs and blog posts and all different types of things out there. Twitter you can search, Facebook you can search. This thing called Backtype is actually you can search people's comments within blogs about your company. And knowing all those things are really important to give you feedback. What not to do, and I've been definitely provoked in the past, is starting a fight with somebody, right? This is all this stuff you've learned in kindergarten. It's very, you don't want to overthink it. Don't have a public fight on your blog or on someone else's blog, because you end up just looking silly. And what's really great is if you have a good audience, if someone says something ridiculous, if your fans back you up and they say, hey, this guy, don't listen to him, he's an asshole, right? That's way more powerful than you saying it yourself. So, and then the other one is ignoring people, right? Don't ignore your fans. Give them, keep people engaged with small incentives. Could be discounts or just relevant information. These are just some things at the end. And what I could do is afterwards, I'd be happy to post like some of these links on the Ladies Lotto website. Starting a local group, there's a bunch of different signs, finding local bloggers, local meetings, leads, really using the web for localization and building your business from your area that you live in first is something you should ignore. Because it really can help jumpstart. And then 3 things you can do right tonight to get started if you want to is register your business. Super easy. Find a group somewhere, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Meetup, whether it's Facebook. They all have user groups. They all have groups that are interested in even the tiniest area of business, and join a ton of them and add to that conversation. Just comment on somebody else's blog. Just go to someone's blog and make a comment. Because often what I've found in businesses, even huge corporations, is that unless you sort of know how to use these tools, and unless you just have some experience, it's very hard to get started. And just by going in and making a few comments on someone's blog or rating a movie that you liked or something, it really gets you started, and you start sort of really understanding how to use it and how to use it locally. So that's what I have.